snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I am here today to do a review of the first 3 issues in the new series, or fairly new series, which is 8House, and this is being put together by various different authors and people and designers. From what I understand, it does seem to be mostly Brandon Graham, who has been the creative director thus far, but I think the team changes every few issues, and I'm not entirely sure how it all fits together, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight into what exactly 8House is. This is the first issue, the second one looks like this, and the third one has a completely different style of artwork and looks like this. So I've only read the first 3, but as you can see the art style changes drastically from 1 and 2 into the third one, and I believe it's going to change again from the third one into the 4th and 5th. So I will put a picture of what the 4th and 5th look like, but I haven't read them yet. So, what is this series all about? The first 2 issues are written by Brandon Graham, and then the designer who actually does the artwork is called Marion Churchland. I love Marion Churchland's art style. I had never seen her stuff before, and I picked this up because I was recommended it from the guy who works in my local comic book shop. He said to me that I would really like these, so I thought I would go ahead and pick them up, and I literally just had a little quick flick through whilst I was in the shop, and of course the artwork is fantastic. So I mean, look at this page. Look at this page. It is so beautiful, so beautiful. So her artwork is basically the main thing that holds this story together, I think. The story itself, it hints that there's a big open world. It hints that there's this very organic, beautiful, marvellous, sort of elaborate society, and they have basically got to this point where there's all sorts of magic, there's all sorts of crazy people, there's people who have various different genders. Men will look very feminine and females will look very male, and vice versa, and it goes each way and every way, and it seems like there are people who are witches, there are people who have powers and magic, and there are good guys and bad guys, of course. So we are following a blood witch, and the blood witch is basically travelling around because she hasn't been able to find her body. She's like got separated from her body somehow, and she's now stuck in this really creepy body. I'll show you a picture. So this character here is the blood witch, and this one is Arclight, who is her loyal and faithful knight who is coming along with her. That's what these first 2 issues are called. It's called Arclight, and Arclight is kind of gender neutral. I believe he is a man, but he definitely dresses quite feminine, so I love that it kind of crosses the boundaries and the borders on that, and it doesn't really care about that sort of thing, and it's very open. The artwork in this one is a little bit brighter than the first one. There are some cool fight scenes, some cool creatures that they come across, and of course some epic bad guys too. I really love this page, which actually talks about one of the creatures that they come across in the world, and it's just very beautiful, so I really like this one. But basically, it's a really weird series. That's what I'm trying to say, is that it's a really weird series, because this feels very fantastical, it feels very magical, it feels very open world. We've got these adventurers and we're following their story and sort of learning a bit about the world, and then we go on to issue number 3, which is called Kiem, and this one's completely different. This one is actually drawn by Zuruxo G. Penelta. I'm going to say that wrong because I don't know how to say it, but I'll put it on the screen. And the story, once again, is by Brandon Graham. This one was weird for me because it was a complete shift from the fantastical, whimsical style of the first 2 issues into this, which is a much more clean, clear-cut sci-fi style. And the story completely shifts. It's a completely different part of the world, very different in tone and style, and very different in technology and advancement and scientific emphasis. Some of these pages, you'll notice, are upside down, which I thought was a really clever idea because it kind of works with the story. Some of the pages have really bright colours, very vibrant, very blockish colour, so it is a completely different style of art to the first 2 issues. I think this is probably my favourite page from the third one. I love the way that the artist draws architecture. I think it's fantastic. This has obviously taken a long time, and it just looks super cool, and it definitely sparks the imagination. But in this one we're following the story of a young girl who is part of this sort of scientific research team or something like that, and she can go into this other world by going into this chemical mixture. And while she's in this other world, she finds something and she's told she has to take it somewhere else, and we kind of follow her story there. But so far, this one doesn't link up with the first two in terms of like landscape or characters or anything, I don't think. It's weird. It's really weird. And as I said, the fourth and the fifth one are going to be just as odd, I think, because they're going to be a completely different style and probably a completely new set of characters and place. So at the moment it seems quite episodic. We have a few that focus on one story, then we've got a different story, and then we'll have another story ongoing as well. I think that the intention is that they're all going to eventually match up somehow, and I guess it's like a shared world, but I do think that it's a different writing team as well for the next one, so I'm not sure how that's all going to work out. I'll put everything I find out on the screen so that you guys have a clearer idea than I do. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I rated each of them individually. Issue 1 in the series I gave a 4.5 stars to. Really loved the artwork, story was intriguing, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. And then issue number 2, I also gave a 4.5 stars to, because it just was a continuation of the story, the artwork was just as incredible, and I really liked where it was going. Issue 3, I gave a 3 out of 5 stars to, because I wasn't as much of a fan of the artwork. Even though I do like it, I didn't like it as much as the previous ones, and of course the story is quite lacking because it is only 30-ish pages, like a normal length issue, and I mean, you can't fit a whole load of story, but honestly a lot of the pages don't even have very much text, so it's quite a limiting story and you don't really know exactly what's going on, so I couldn't fully get to grips with it. I was expecting that there would be another one on this same story, but at the moment it doesn't look like that is the case, so I'll be intrigued to see how this goes onwards. Like, I am really intrigued by this series. I have to say that I actually love the fashion designs of these characters. I think they are just so beautiful and stunning and lovely and kind of Greek goddess inspired. I just love it. So really enjoyed Marion Churchland's style. Yeah, I mean, let me know, have you guys been reading 8House? If you have, what are you thinking about it? Are you intrigued by it? I'm really intrigued. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where it's all going to go and how they're going to do the next ones, and the art style and the changes and how it's all eventually going to come together. It's really interesting, it's really intriguing, and I have liked all the ideas I've come across. I don't know how I feel about the changing art style each time and the changing direction each time, but I do hope that they somehow all meld together and integrate in a really cool way, so I definitely will be continuing on with the series. I would love to hear your thoughts if you guys have never heard of it, or if you have, let me know. Are you interested in it? Have you already picked it up? I'd love to hear. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little